guys, this is my first attempt at vlogging again on the GoPro Hero5 Black. Today I received the mic adapter, and hopefully that will give me some good audio. We shall see. It is right around 5 o'clock, 5:30 here in Houston, and a lot of traffic about this time of the day, but not a lot you can do about that. It's just one of the prices you have to pay if you want to get out when there's still good sunlight and capture some good video. Now, one of the things that I have noticed from the GoPro, from some of the other footage that I shot here a little while back, is that it does pretty good in low light. And when I say pretty good in low light, I'm really referring to in comparison to older GoPros. You know, the 3 Plus, the 3, things like that. Sony still, I believe, has a better image for low light. My Sony AS200V usually gave me really good footage, decent footage in low light. So I can't really complain too much about that. But one of the main reasons I wanted a GoPro is because I was looking for something that was more front mounted, so that I would not always be in a position where the camera is off to the side mounted on my helmet. And I know a lot of motovloggers like that. They even take GoPros and mount them that way. I've just honestly never been a big fan of it. But like in all things, to each his own. Now this is a little back road I like to come through sometimes when there's no traffic, because it has a couple of little cool curves that come up a little further ahead. But I don't think I'm going to get to experience those the way I want to today because of the traffic. Nope. So I got a question for you guys. You know, things that come up in conversations, you know, when guys are just sitting around talking, sometimes can be interesting dialogue. I had a few friends the other night. We were out someplace, and the conversation of men's clubs came up, gentlemen's clubs, topless clubs, nude clubs. The subject kept coming up. Well, for those of you who don't know yet, I owned a number of boutiques that were housed inside of a few of the adult entertainment clubs here in Houston. So when most people were coming in for entertainment or whatever the case it was, I was going in for work. So yeah, I was one of those boutique owners that sold the G-strings and the thongs and the outfits and the shoes and, you know, makeup sometime. It just depends. But I guess I never really fell into that category of looking forward to being in the club, because I think once you've seen so much of it, you know, it's like anything else, it gets old. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I know guys that go there, you know, maybe just for a bachelor party, or maybe just for, you know, a corporate event or something like that. At least that's the excuse they're going to give, and that's the story they're going to stick to. But there are those guys that literally live in a topless club, in a men's club. They go to work and they try to get off work early every day so that they can be there when their favorite dancer is arriving at work. Not ready to go on stage, not ready to actually start working, but there before she even gets dressed. You know, I guess maybe in their mind somehow that's like the boyfriend experience. You know, like you're showing up like you're the boyfriend, and oh, here's my girlfriend, she just got to work, and we're gonna hang out together, and we're gonna get something to eat and sit around and gossip and all that kind of nonsense. Well, like I said, to each his own. I guess because I grew up in an environment where, you know, real men did certain things, and that term today is used very loosely, but we'll say back in the day, you know, real men didn't do certain things. Like, we didn't pay to play. That's just as simple as it gets, you know what I'm saying? So if you out there firing your dollars and, you know, you throwing your money at, you know, one of these broads out there because she somehow convinced you that she's in love with you, or you're upset with your woman, and or maybe you're just a lonely guy, you will benefit more from joining some of these social groups, joining some of these dating websites to find some woman that's real than you'll ever, you know, gain from, you know, hanging out in the Topless club. But at the same time, no, you're not going to get off of most of these social groups and social apps, you know, the kind of women that you see, at least you think you see, by the illusions the club creates. Because trust me, there's a whole psychology behind the way clubs are set up. The lighting, the music, everything about the club is set up in a way to make you feel comfortable, to make you feel, you know, as long as you're spending money, they'll keep improving the clubs to keep giving you something to come back to. You know, it's like the grown man Disney World, if you want to think about it from that perspective. But, you know, like I said, that just popped in my head when I was going around that curve, because somebody had been talking about that the other night, and I was just curious, how many of you guys, you know, will be honest and say, hey, yeah, I've been to a couple of Topless clubs, or I went for my friend's bachelor party, or I went there in a corporate event. And just be honest about it. How did you feel about it? What was your experience? You know, you can be honest. You can tell us how much money you screwed off, you know, at that establishment. And how many times you've been back since then. We won't hold it against you. Okay, maybe a little bit. No, we won't. We won't. Right, guys? We're not gonna hold it against them, right? Okay, cool. We're not. So just tell the truth, and well, you know, that's that. But anyway, back to the GoPro thing. I'm still trying to decide if this camera was a worthwhile investment, because like I said, other than the ability to front mount it, I feel like in a lot of ways, even though somehow GoPro has become the standard, you know, for, you know, vloggers who are out there, especially if you're motor vlogging, but in reality, let's just keep it real, Sony is ahead of them, big time. It's just their form factor is the issue. And I think going forward, if they came out with a better form factor, now I have seen their new cameras that have come out that comes with in the kit a little monitor that you can mount on your wrist, you know, and I have that for the Sony I have right now. I have a little wrist mounted monitor control, and so I can control the camera from my wrist. You know, it's not voice activated or anything like that, but I can see what the camera is pointed at, and that's great for framing. And the new GoPros, it's like they took all of the things away that most people were so excited about having when it came to these cameras. You know, you got to have this huge brick at the bottom of it to plug a microphone in. And don't get me wrong, we know somebody in China right now as I speak is working on putting out 10 different versions of mic adapters that are smaller. Some will be actual mics themselves with the electronics, you know, in line. So all you got to do is just basically buy the mic, plug it into your USB-C, you know, stuff it in your helmet, position it, and you're good to go. So that'll come, you know, later this year, maybe in a month or two. And now that I actually have the mic adapter, I almost guarantee you, probably within the next month of me posting this video, someone would have released a a much smaller mic adapter, and I'll probably get it, you know, at least to test it out if nothing else, you know. But I think in a lot of ways what the new GoPros are right now, and people say this all the time, they say it about the iPhone, they'll say it about almost every Android phone, you know, well, this is the one that should have been last year, this is the one that should have been 2 years ago. And you know, we have to accept the fact that these guys do what they do to go in, you know, to make money. Nobody starts a business to just make ends meet or just break even. They go into business to make a profit. So in most cases, just like with Apple, you know, to keep you coming back once they have that fan base, all they got to do is provide you with something just a little bit better next year, and those fanboys will come running. I'm no fanboy, and I'll tell you the truth about it. I'm not a fanboy when it comes to bikes, when it comes to gear, even when it comes to, you know, the professional cameras that I use. Man, if there's something better out there, or if I have, you know, an opportunity to use it and I can find a way to, you know, work it into my workflow, hey doggy, work it into my workflow, it's a good chance I might make that investment. You know, I'm quick to pull the trigger on stuff like that. So I think a lot of us are waiting for, you know, the next new thing that comes out. But realistically, when it comes to blogging, my personal opinion, and I mean, it's not like I got, you know, hundreds of thousands of, you know, subscribers or something like that, but I think this is universal. Most people who are watching your channel really don't care if you have 4K video. Now, with that said, you know, you can look back at a number of my other videos and me talking about the quality of audio. Audio is probably going to be one of the most important things you can have on any device. You know, I've had some really high-end pro cameras that just recorded horrible audio. So the first thing you do is you go out and buy a Sennheiser, or, you know, a high-end microphone, or even an external deck, you know, that you can record to, and you just use whatever the camera captures, you know, for scratch audio, so you can sync it in post and you're good to go. But when we're thinking, you know, most guys, when they're getting into the motovlogging and they're thinking about, hey, I just want to buy a camera, simple microphone, I want to put it in my helmet, you want it to be as little moving parts as possible. You don't want, you know, something, you know, you're recording to in your pocket, another thing that's attached to your helmet, another thing that's on your boot, another thing that's in your tank bag. No, I just want a simple camera setup. I can plug a microphone into it. I can record and get out here and ride around and babble and talk about whatever I want to talk about. And most likely, 90% of the time, I'm going to get good audio. I'm going to get good video. You know, you gotta always remember these cameras have really small sensors, so you're not going to get DSLR quality from these cameras, at least not in the near future. But they are getting closer. I think, you know, with GoPro, and I've seen just a gazillion worth of, and that's a big number, a gazillion worth of videos of people complaining about the new GoPro. But the biggest complaint they seem to all have universally is the audio. And I think what the problem with the audio is the 3 microphones, because the microphones are constantly hunting for noise. So whether it be wind noise or background noise or whatever the case it is, and they're also waterproof, so that's even worse. So now you got filtering over your microphone. You also have, you know, microphones switching back and forth. So, you know, the camera has a wind setting and it has a stereo setting, and most people that I've seen demonstrate this, you know, I don't really hear that much of a difference from one to the other. I think it would do GoPro a great justice if they put out their own video, you know, showing how these features are supposed to work, and show them in a controlled environment and say, hey, this is how this works if you want to do this. This is how it works if you want to do that. You know, I have this mic adapter plugged in, and there's very little information out there as to which setting to choose to get the best result from a lavalier style mic. You know, so you'll see people that are using Rode mics, you know, which are powered mics because they have a battery in them, so they're powered. Or if you're using phantom power, that means that the device is giving power to the microphone. Well, in most lavalier mics, that's exactly what's happening. The device is powering the microphone. So there should be an outline saying, hey, if you're using these type of microphones, you need to be in these two settings, or one of these two settings. If you're using this type of microphone, here's the best setting, you know, set up for you. But so far, GoPro hasn't done anything like that. And I know a lot of people say, well, just go to their website or just go to their forums. Their forums, like mini sites, man, are just full of gobbledygook and people speculating. And I know the technicians, I know the engineers see some of these comments and could step in and say, hey, you know, look, okay, we made a mistake, we didn't really outline this well enough, but this is how you should use our product to get the best result. I mean, if it was me and I'm building a product, I want people to be, you know, for it to be easy for you to call your buddy who also has this device, and you can say, hey, I'm doing XYZ, how can I go about, you know, getting the best result? Oh, well, you know, do this, do that, because that's what they've done. And they know that because they watched the videos, or, you know, they've read the manual or whatever. You know, the manual is it's pitiful, but that's what they give us. So a lot of what we do is going to be trial and error. And I mean, if you have a lot of free time on your hand and you can sit around in your studio and test this stuff, I really don't. Well, I take that back. I really do. I just don't want to. So, and you know, that's my bad, babe. You know, basically that's my bad, because that means I'm not willing to experiment with it. I just want to know. You know, and there have been a number of devices that I bought that literally anything you want to know about that device, it is on their website. You know, it's in their tech support. If you don't know, you can literally, you know, just click on a link and somebody will, you know, jump into a chat bubble with you live and walk you through any issues that you're having. And I know GoPro has, you know, their chat on their site, but I really believe you're talking to a, you know, a bot. I don't think that's really a person. Man, it just got windy as crap on this bridge, so I'm really curious to know what this video is gonna, the audio from this video is gonna sound like. And the placement of my microphone is no different than when I had the Sony mounted, you know, on the side of my helmet. So if there's any difference in the audio, it is definitely going to be coming, you know, from the GoPro setup, because the microphone should give, I'd say, 80% of the same type of result as the other camera. But I still have my Sony, so if for some reason this doesn't work out, these will become B and C cameras, and I will go back to my Sony. Yep. Man, I hope they hurry up and legalize lane splitting, because it is a pain in the butt sometimes sitting out here behind these cars. Got to worry about getting rear-ended or somebody backing into you. I had that happen to me a long time ago when I had my first Gixxer 750 slingshot, and I was at a light on Westheimer, and some guy was in an SUV talking on the phone, and I realized what it was he was trying to do after what happened. He was trying to back up to get around the car that was in front of him, and he wound up backing directly into me. So it cracked my fender, bike fell over, fairing got, you know, cracked up a little bit. Insurance paid for it. He accidentally, after getting out of his car, had a little accident and slipped and fell and chipped his tooth on his car. Yeah, that's what really happened. That's my story. You better believe me. I'm not violent-ish. But anywho, I'm gonna head over to a spot, grab a cup of coffee, and check out some of this video to see if it was worth waiting 3 or 4 days to get this mic adapter and paying an additional $50 for it. Man, I keep turning my audio down and it keeps going back up on its own. I know that has something to do with my jacket. Okay, I'm going this way. Come on, you can move faster than that. You guys know why I went this way. Oh no, it's the fake popo. Yep, I'm actually going up there.